The following story is true, and by true I mean false. But if we keep repackaging these howlingly obvious lies over and over again in increasingly shitty forms, don't you think we'll get closer to the truth? If your answer is yes, I'm afraid we as a society have to step in before you breed. With that disclaimer, here are 3 ridiculous things about the Amityville series. The original true story is complete and utter bullshit. 40 years after the Lutzes dumped a house over money, we still have the even stupider cousins of creationists and anti-vaxxers who think that supernatural doings took place in Amityville, New York. Why does this bother me? Well, apart from a general understanding that believing in horse pucky leads to bad outcomes, and apart from feeling sympathy for the current owners of the house and their neighbors who have to put up with gawkers and tourists, and apart from the fraudsters like exorcists Ed and Lorraine Warren taking advantage of the Lutz's shaggy demon story to trick gullible people into giving them undeserved fame and money, the biggest problem with the lie that started all this is that it inflicted upon humanity the worst horror movie franchise ever made. And the story, 28 Days of Horror, demonic marching bands, evil red rooms, and Jody the Flying Pig, is a mountain, an Everest, an Olympus Mons of bullshit. You can get debunking details from Skeptical Inquirer, among other places. The real story appears to have been diagnosed correctly by Stephen King, who described the horror of the Lutzes as the terror of the disappearing bank account. Apparently, old George and Kathy, who'd never owned a house before, walked into what seemed like a too-good-to-be-true deal without taking into account all the financial facts. They didn't look into the house's furnace, which hadn't been overhauled since it was installed in the 1920s, and they hadn't figured that buying a house way below market value doesn't change the value the state of New York assesses the house at for tax purposes. Oops. So they were either going to take a bath for dumping this house, or they were going to go broke living in it, until a hoax they cooked up with the lawyer for the mass-murdering son of the previous owner went viral, 1970s style. So yeah, they invented a demonic possession hoax for the money. The Lutzes didn't score as much as they'd hoped, and spent years complaining to anyone who'd listen about the slick Hollywood types who'd took 'em. But, given their resume of wheelings and dealings, just how slick did these Hollywood types have to be? So yeah, they were stupid, the lawyer was stupid, and Hollywood was stupid because the Amityville series is truly the shittiest horror franchise ever made. And yes, I'm including Birdemic 1 and 2 in this calculation. At least they had the hanging out with my family guy. Here's a list of the 15 Amityville pictures made since 1979. I've seen all of them up through the Michael Bay-produced Amityville remake, and after which my brain rebelled against me and demanded that I stop subjecting it to this stupid series, or it would leap from my skull and seek another body to inhabit. So even though I haven't seen them all, I'm confident that there is not one even halfway decent movie in this entire crummy franchise. Not one! There aren't even any decent scares in any given movie. Again, none! I can't think of another franchise that comes up this empty in the entertainment value department. The closest the series comes to a halfway attention-getting scare is Amityville 2's incest scene, and that's not so much scary as icky. The default sensation of watching an Amityville film is less terror than the gross feeling of wearing a heavy terry cloth robe that's been soaking in cod liver oil, and that's only when it's not mind-bendingly dull. Oh wait, there is one moment of pure terror in the Amityville series. It's in the first movie, and it's this. Whew, man, look at those teeth. I hope those were faked for the movie. If not, I hope she made enough money from her appearance here to get those puppies fixed. Honestly, when Michael Bay is responsible for making the best film of a series, a movie noted primarily for the sick-making scene where Ryan Reynolds bludgeons a dog to death, you know you've got a franchise that's deep in the suck. So, the movies are stupid, The people who made them are stupid. The characters are stupid. But you know who's stupidest of all? The people who keep watching this crap. I include myself in this, by the way. Like Richard Jenney watching Jaws 4. Follow the link. The man was on fire for that bit. I've been guilty of sitting on a couch, 3:37 a.m., one sock on, watching Amityville Dollhouse and thinking, maybe there's one good moment coming. Maybe. Just one. And the movie just kept slapping me in the face. No, schmuck. There are no good moments coming in this movie. When you are on your deathbed, gasping out your last breaths, you'll be thinking about the 30 hours that you've devoted to watching this shitball movie series and thinking that anything, up to and including hitting yourself repeatedly in the genitals with an old-fashioned wooden tennis racket, would have been a better use of your finite allotment of time on this earth than wading through this Sargasso Sea of cinematic shit. Now call for the check, because it's time to leave the planet. Why do we do this to ourselves? Why? Why? So anyway, those are the 3 most ridiculous aspects of the Amityville series. What wasn't so ridiculous? Nothing. Not a goddamn time-wasting thing. That said, subscribe to our newsletter and you'll get a free copy of our Amityville 2 riff track. The only problem is, you have to watch the movie along with it. See you next time.